In the remote village of Frosthaven, winters were long and harsh. The villagers had learned to adapt to the biting cold and relentless snow, but there was one unspoken rule everyone followed: never venture into the Forbidden Valley. Legends spoke of a curse that lay upon the valley, trapping the souls of those who dared to enter, leaving their bodies as frozen husks. Amara, a young woman with a fierce determination and a sense of adventure, couldn't resist the lure of the Forbidden Valley. Her curiosity about the legends grew stronger with each passing year, and despite the warnings of her elders, she decided to uncover the truth for herself. One frigid evening, Amara set out, armed with only a lantern and her unwavering resolve. The snow crunched beneath her boots as she made her way through the dense forest. The further she ventured, the colder the air became, almost as if the valley itself was trying to ward her off. But she pressed on, determined to see what lay beyond the veil of fear. As she approached the valley, an eerie silence fell over the landscape. The wind ceased to howl, and the snowflakes seemed to hang suspended in the air. The entrance to the valley was marked by ancient stone pillars, half buried in the snow, with strange runes etched into their surfaces. Amara hesitated for a moment, feeling a chill run down her spine, but she took a deep breath and stepped between the pillars. The temperature dropped instantly, and her breath formed ice crystals in the air. She tightened her grip on the lantern and continued forward. The valley was a frozen wasteland, with jagged ice formations jutting out from the ground like skeletal fingers. As she walked, Amara noticed strange shapes beneath the ice, as if something or someone was trapped beneath the surface. She knelt down to inspect one of the shapes and gasped in horror. It was a frozen human face, twisted in an expression of terror. Before she could react, the ice beneath her feet cracked, and she tumbled into a hidden chamber below. The lantern shattered, plunging her into darkness. She scrambled to her feet, her heart pounding in her chest, and fumbled for a match to relight the lantern. As the light flickered to life, she realized she was not alone. The chamber was filled with frozen bodies, their eyes wide open and empty, their mouths agape in silent screams. The air was thick with an overwhelming sense of despair, and Amara could feel the weight of countless lost souls pressing down on her. A soft, mournful wail echoed through the chamber, and Amara turned to see a figure emerging from the shadows. It was a woman, her skin pale and translucent, her eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. She reached out a hand to Amara, her voice barely a whisper. "Help us. Free us." Amara's mind raced, trying to understand what she could do. She remembered the stories her grandmother had told her about the valley's curse and the ancient ritual that could break it. Gathering her courage, she began to recite the words she had memorized, her voice steady despite the fear clawing at her heart. As she spoke the final words of the incantation, a blinding light filled the chamber, and the ice began to melt. The frozen bodies dissolved into mist, their souls finally freed from their icy prison. The woman who had spoken to Amara smiled gratefully before fading into the light. The valley transformed before Amara's eyes, the snow melting and revealing a lush, vibrant landscape. The curse had been broken, and the Forbidden Valley was no more. Amara returned to Frosthaven, where the villagers greeted her with awe and gratitude. The legends of the valley were no longer tales of horror, but stories of hope and redemption, thanks to the bravery of one young woman who dared to face the unknown. The end. I hope you enjoyed this expanded version of Frozen Souls. If you have more ideas or need further inspiration, feel free to ask.